it comes back to guard play, Zakai Zeigler, of course, playing so well after the Texas A&M game will help lead the Vols against the Tigers in a couple of days. And what a performance the other night. To not shoot all that well, 14 assists, 4 steals, took care of the basketball, 9 rebounds, so he was a point and a rebound short of a triple-double.
Yeah, man. Let the show of basketball. The show has been dominated by basketball. The reason why is because of Zakai Zeigler and his teammates on Saturday night, man, just whooping up on Texas A&M, a team that I think if they get into the tournament, they can create some noise. But they're in a 4-game losing streak, and they're kind of on the bubble. But just tearing those guys apart. Zakai Zeigler controlled both sides of the court for Tennessee, man. He was masterful.
It was an ugly showing 2 weeks prior at Texas A&M. So Zakai Zeigler and Tennessee got the revenge on Saturday night, winning by 35 points. And Rick Barnes, after the game, talked about the performance, the impact of Zakai Zeigler.
You know, he takes everything personal, and he knows, and I told him I thought he played one of his worst games that he's played since he's been here at Missouri. And you could tell he had just great focus the last couple of days getting ready, and he is a guy that impacts the game. If he makes shots, that's one thing, but him getting into the lane and really spraying it the way he did and collapsing the defense and then giving guys a chance to catch it on the run and do some things, he's just invaluable with what he does. I mean, what can you say about a guy on the court getting 9 rebounds like that, but yet his distributing the ball the way he did, and he's a special player.
Rick Barnes talking about Zakai Zeigler. So you hear Rick, who coaches that position hard, by the way, at point guard. But what about the opposing side? Buzz Williams was coaching against Tennessee and Zakai Zeigler. Listen to what Texas A&M's coach said after the game, after the loss to Tennessee, about the impact on both ends of the floor that Zakai Zeigler makes.
I think he's so underrated. Elite on-the-ball defender. Incredibly fast with or without the ball. And then I think their transition, secondary action, he's the engine. And when it gets into a half-court situation, I thought 0 was really good tonight. 3 causes a lot of problems for everybody. But I actually think that 5, in many respects, coordinates all of that. I think they play with great space. There's not anybody that you don't have to guard, whether they're playing with 30 at the 4 or 0 and 11, and they're playing big. You, to some degree, have to guard 2 and 3 similar in regards to their ability to catch and shoot. And I think 25 as a secondary ball handler with what he's done in his career here, to some degree, you have to pick your poison. But 5 commands so much attention that sometimes I think he's probably maybe unheralded in regards to he's a conduit to so many things that they do on both sides of the ball.
Buzz Williams, Texas A&M's coach, talking about Zakai Zeigler.
It's one thing for Rick Barnes to say it, but when you have, the opposing coach say it, man, and Rick is going to tell the truth. This is what he does with his players. He tells them what he thinks. He doesn't tell them what they want to hear and blow smoke up their butt. But to hear Buzz Williams, who I think is one of our game's best coaches, he does a great job at Texas A&M. I remember the one year where we played those guys in the final. They clawed and scratched to get to that position and was just exhausted. Didn't really have anything left in a tank. I got a lot of respect for how he runs his program, how tough his players play, how hard they play. Now, they didn't play as hard as they could have to finish that game. But when you have a coach of his stature giving you compliments if you're Zakai Zeigler, man, that's what makes the preparation, all the hard work, the rehab, going through the injury. That's what makes it all worth it for sure, to get that respect. I know one thing, Josh Ward, Buzz Williams kept his butt in his coaching box this week. He went out there mid-court trying to call timeout. he called his timeouts from his bench.
Yes, he did. Did you see his pregame comments? He had the press availability maybe Friday before the game, and he was talking about big deal. Tennessee's going for a number 1 seed, contending for an SEC title. Coach Barnes is mad at me.
Coach wasn't playing, man.
Yeah.
Coach was not happy about Buzz Peterson trying to set screens on our players. He ain't like that at all, man. He was low-key snitching, man. He was snitching. Rick needs those 2 points. Possibly a 5-point play. Technical foul, 2 free throws, and the ball. We needed those 5 points. That's why Rick was trying to get it.
It's all in the competition. But nobody is more about the competition than Zakai. He's a great player on the floor. He's an incredible story for everything he overcame to get to this point. Now overcoming the knee injury from a year ago to come back and play at an even higher level for a team that's contending for a title both in the conference and around the nation. It's an awesome story. I hope it gets more national attention. He's gotten some national attention, but as
Not
Tennessee
enough.
goes, I think he'll get more, and he deserves more.
Not enough. Don't make me bring up Dick Vitale's top point guard list that excluded Zakai Zeigler. I won't bring it up beyond that, but he needs to be on that conversation. He needs to be on that list. He needs to be in the conversation. And each game, he goes out there to prove that he belongs in the conversation, in the group with the best point guards in the country, not just the league. And the Auburn game, you got KD Johnson, who is very, very demonstrative in how he plays and talks. And, man, he goes 100 miles per hour. They got some guards that's gonna bring it and not back down. So that's gonna be a great matchup between Auburn's guards and Zakai Zeigler. I mentioned in the paint last segment, but Zakai's gonna have his hands full coming up versus Auburn too.